Yo, what is up, everybody? Yeah, anybody who wasn't here yesterday, people didn't like my background. People didn't like my New York back alley, so I'm home. No more green screen. No more green screen. Do you guys remember how, at the beginning of the season, they're like, hey, RLCS, bunch of new stuff. And, they made this big post and all this cool stuff. Well, some of it's cool, some of it's not. But one of the cooler things people didn't like initially, but now they like it a bit more, is that in NA and EU, top 128 get a little piece of the pie, creates a more sustainable esport, makes it possible for more people to be able to, play it a little bit lower, like the bubble tier, stuff like that. People getting a part of the prize money. And you can see the full payout right here. AJ tweeted it a while ago. First place, they got 30K last season. That was cut down not by 9K, so they get 21,000. Oh no, the poor billionaire pros. But the good part is, the lower tier pros, or well, pros, because the pros that actually get to this 128 prize pool are people like me. So Turbo's Cheeks actually made $400 each. They don't mind that. So actually, I can't wait because, we all made $400 each. I'm just excited to get paid. I feel like it'll be pretty easy, smooth sailing, pretty seamless, I would say. Pretty seamless of getting paid from this whole ordeal. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, this is 4 months ago, by the way, so let me give context. Multiple pros are expressing frustration about not being paid by Epic Games. Fiber, he says he got from Sonics as if he hasn't tried to claim his Sprint and Winter major prizes ages ago. Apparently, his tournament prizings will expire on November 25th, 2023. So again, 4 months ago. And this happened to like 4 different players. Gom said the same thing, can't even claim it. Andy filled out the tax form for like 8 months ago. Is there anybody we can contact, I beg? I think this was resolved. I'm not 100% sure. Can't really confirm it, but I would assume after some outcry publicly like this, it does get resolved. Usually that's kind of how it goes. That's why like people say, oh, don't make this public. Well, if it's never public, nothing ever fucking happens. So it's usually how this ends up happening. And then this one was a month ago, by the way. For Life says a reminder to everyone not to be patient with your RLCS prizes or it just won't be able to claim anymore. It says, thank you for verifying. After review, it appears the pending prizes have expired and no longer eligible. So apparently the prize pool just expire if you don't claim them, but also they're having trouble claiming them even if they follow the instructions. Let's be real, guys. Let's be real. It's happening to OCE players. It's happening to Fiber. It happened to Gommy's EU. It happened to Andy. He's NA, but Andy's a bubble player. It happened to Super Lucky, and he's OCE, so who cares, right? Right? No, am I just being an asshole? Apparently it also happened to Zen. So this is Zen's mom confirmed that Zen hasn't been paid for his Worlds win nor regionals from the spring split. And I don't speak French, but there is a translation in the comments that I'm just going to trust fully that says, translate, Epic Game doesn't pay cash prize, so nothing surprised me anymore. And then Life is Cool said, did Zen receive his Worlds cash prize? And then his second mom message said, nope, nothing from regional either. So yeah, they did not make mama happy with that one. So I think, the thing is, I don't want to throw this out there, but I am like 99% sure they fired the person who paid people. And so they had to set up basically an entirely new system that is, I guess, still in the works. I don't know. People need to realize this shit happens in the professional world too. It's not acceptable there either, but it's just a matter of incompetence and companies trying to scam people. You know what the thing is like, I don't think they're actively trying to scam people. I genuinely think it's an oversight, which is super unfortunate because of how many people are owed money. But to a multi-billion-dollar company, who cares about a couple 100,000 in payments or whatever it might be? It's such a minuscule thing to something of that size. I don't think they're actively trying to scam. I think it's just a big oversight where, like, they potentially fire the person who pays people and then they have to fix it. But they didn't think about it at the time. There's another thing. This one's a little this one's got some substance to it. Torsauce ends up making a tweet. If you guys don't know, Torsauce is a pro player in Oceania, plays for Power. This is, it's serious when there's a 2-page PNG open letter to the upcoming RLCS major in Copenhagen. 2 weeks before they were due to leave for the major, the teams that have qualified a major one were informed that travel will only be funded in accordance with a designated travel window. This means that if a team desires to travel earlier, such as is the case for a boot camp, they'd have to cover the full expenses of that travel. So usually the major, if it's on the 29th, that'd be Friday. It'd be 29th, 30th, 31st. It'd be a 3-day weekend, potentially 4, depending on the format, whatever. Players would get it on Tuesday if they're like from that region. But you could always talk to ESL, the tournament organizer at the time, and be like, hey, we don't want to get in Tuesday. We want to get in Thursday before, 5 days earlier. And they would cover the flight essentially but you would pay the difference. They wouldn't cover your hotel. They would just book a flight 5 days earlier for you to basically be able to go to boot camp. Or like if they don't want to go to Copenhagen immediately and they want to go to Germany to boot camp, say it's an NA team or OC, it doesn't matter, and they want to go to Germany to boot camp, say, hey, we are actually going to fly to Frankfurt on this day, 5 days before you need us. So we will basically do everything else. Like, it's not a big hassle. It's just like, we will be in a different country. This is where you need to send us. And then we will get there ourselves. It's happened all the time. But now they will only cover stuff if it's in their designated travel window, which is basically their tournament week. Would probably be the 26th through the 31st, which is Tuesday through Sunday. So if you're an OCE team or an APAC team, you have this very long travel time, by the way. Sometimes, actually, I would say most times over 24 hours. And so you have extreme jet lag. And so you're going to get there on Tuesday, do media day on Wednesday, where you get pictures, videos, content. You're going to do your scrims. You're going to have a full practice day on Thursday, potentially. Unless your org needs content. Your org might need content on Thursday. And then you're going to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, you know, you have this long travel. You have 2 days while you're still busy to get over your jet lag. And then you got to play. And you got to compete. And if you want to do something else, they're not going to pay for it. He basically says this differs from previous seasons. As it currently stands, depending on your region, players will arrive the day before a media shoot, followed by the competition days, providing a single day to recover, adjust, and set up to compete for RLCS. Bootcamp functions as a way for players to overcome jet lag, adjust their sleep schedules, and prepare for international competition. There are concerns around the sustainability for minor region and low-budget teams that are being overlooked. One concern is that players traveling upwards of 24 hours, moving straight into media day, then competing the following days is not only challenging at the competitive level, but concerning for players' health and well-being. And then the second concern is having minor region orgs cover the full expenses. So I've already talked pretty extensively about how they're making it much hard. I don't think it's actually been in a video, but it's been on Chalkcast quite a bit. They made it very hard for orgs to want to join RLCS. They're just making it tough. You could look at this with Pirates on a Boat, how they're a top 8 team, but it's looking pretty tough for an org to want to sign them. And I don't know this, have this knowledge of like orgs are talking to them, orgs are not talking to them. But from my perspective, why would an org sign a team like that who is currently in top 8? There's only 4 spots at the major. They barely get screen time on a stream, and even though they're at top 8 now, they could go into the next split and just be dog, and then they don't have any reliability on like keeping their spot or anything like that. They just made it so hard for orgs to actually want to stay in the esport. And then now you already have orgs that are already low budget. In general, most orgs are pretty low budget these days, right? And you won't even cover travel costs for them to fly to a location 5 days early. Not to say that you need to pay for a hotel. You don't need to pay for a hotel. All you need to do is cover the flight, basically the same flight you were going to pay for anyway, and then pay the difference, or they will pay the difference. The team will pay the difference. I think the thing is they're just so limited on people that they don't want to add any extra stress, which, you know, I guess makes sense to an extent, but I feel like I can't defend this. I really can't, especially, and I wonder about this because I talk about this every now and then. I wonder if it's one of those things where I think it's so bad because it's always been this way and now it's not, or if I actually just think this is how it should be. But I do feel like it's not that crazy to make it be this way. Why don't they give the teams a budget and let them plan it? It seems a little bit more complicated because you do have you have managers. You had, well, I don't know if they're going to have it at this LAN, but at every LAN, they've always had player managers and they have always kept track of all your details. So if you kind of divert off of that, it could really mess them up and all of their scheduling. It is very important that everybody is there on the same day and any delays need to be communicated. But it has been done for 7 years with 15-year-olds, with 18-year-olds, with 21-year-olds, with managers, with parents, everything. It has been done for 7 years. People have been more than capable of doing this. Like, there is a system in place that is perfectly okay, and the change is unnecessary, in my opinion. I just joined and have no clue what you're talking about, but I fully disagree and think you are misinformed on the issue at hand. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you chimed in. No, I appreciate that because you always got to keep me humble. So that's good.